Gung-ho reaction, a topic taboo. Hey there, kids, it's Folie. It's been a long time.
Okay, so no mic stand this week.
Oh, shoot.
We'll see how this goes. I'm going to try to stay real still.
Should we do it? Do you have the newer in front of your
I do
mouth?
have the newer in my mouthhole
In
face
my mouthhole
region.
face.
Mouthhole.
Cool.
Mouthhole.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, guys.
Good evening.
Did you miss us last week?
Did you even notice that we were gone?
I want to say yes.
Yeah.
I want to say yes.
I want that too.
I want that. So I'm going to say yes.
Yeah.
You missed us.
Yeah. I mean, I heard nothing of this of the
No.
kind from anybody.
Because our listeners are strong.
Yes.
They're solid. They put up with stuff.
They do. They don't need to show their emotions.
Nope. As a matter of fact, that's the only reason they can handle listening to this show.
That's true. That's so true.
They're all just sitting there right now in their cars or maybe, I don't know, drinking their coffee, their wine, whatever, and tears.
Nobody is drinking wine who listens to us.
You don't think so?
Not unless it's straight out
It's
of
a
the damn
box. Yeah. Like guzzling it out of
and
the
I'm
box.
not talking like into a cup from a
No.
box.
No, they poke a hole in it and they put one of those twisty straws in the side.
Yes, exactly.
And they have it next to the bathtub. Ooh,
Yep.
that sounds so fun.
It really does. They don't even have bubbles in the bathtub.
Nope. They just have whatever they could find.
Nope.
A little bit of baking soda.
Yep.
A little bit of, but it's actually baking powder because it's all that was left in the cabinet. Fizzing it up.
It's from 1979.
Their bathtub is like lemon yellow and
not because it was made that way.
and they're crying right now, in a very controlled manner, but with a lot of tears.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're back in their lives.
They're so happy and sad.
Because they spent the whole week getting pruny in that bathtub.
They've just been waiting. They've been waiting
to drop
last Monday because we didn't warn anybody that we were going to skip last week. And so Nana Boo Boo, you lose.
You passed. No, you didn't pass the test.
No.
And this person in the bathtub feels worse than we do, I guarantee you, because nobody came to check if they were dead.
Exactly. They could have fallen through the ceiling. Like that one president.
A president fell through the ceiling?
Am I making that up?
In a bathtub? I don't care. I still want to hear it.
I think it's true, and I can't remember who it is, but I kind of want to look it up now.
Yes, please.
I don't know that he necessarily fell through the ceiling.
I love it so much.
But let me ask this.
Okay.
Let me ask Siri. Let's see if that works.
Let's ask Siri.
Hey, Siri. Did a president fall through the ceiling in a bathtub once?
She turned something up, guys.
It says, okay, the first link, I just picked it up, constitutioncenter.org. It's the 100th anniversary of the end of William Howard Taft's presidency, and Constitution Daily looks into a claim that has dogged the 27th president for generations. Was the leader of the free world actually stuck in the White House bathtub? The answer appears to be no.
Oh.
And it definitely, I knew there was something to do with the bathtub, but he certainly didn't fall through the ceiling.
Apparently. I bet you he did get stuck.
But he was a big old guy.
Yeah, that's why they called him Daft Taft.
Exactly. So, when actually I'm the daft one today. Yeah. Sorry, Taft. I don't know.
I like the idea of it, and I like the idea of our most pathetic listener falling through their ceiling onto their downstairs apartment's dining table.
Yeah.
And still not being noticed.
In a super comical way. Just super funny. All of the water splashes out of the bathtub, but then as they land on the floor, then the water all spills back into the bathtub.
And then the bar of soap goes a-flying.
Yeah, and it lands on their head and like, bling!
In their mouth.
Yeah, and shuts them up.
Yeah.
And their eyes get real big. And then they toot a little bubble out.
is fun.
This is a good.
This should be the whole episode.
Storytelling time with us.
What do you guys think should happen next?
You add on to the story.
Speaking of stories,
we
have one. Last week, we had quite an adventure.
Yes, we did. It was so much fun.
It was a magical dream weekend full of glitter and just
murder.
Just like a unicorn stabbing me through the heart.
It was Amy's birthday weekend. What else did we do?
Okay, so we went to Kansas City, Melody and our butler. And myself, of course, because it was my birthday weekend. We went for the main purpose of seeing My Favorite Murder live.
Yes.
This was a really big deal to us because, like so many people, that was one of our first favorite comedy podcasts.
Yes.
And one of the things that kind of inspired us to get started because they're so unprofessional.
Exactly. We realized, we can do that too.
Yeah, we just hold a microphone
All
and talk.
podcasts that I listened to before seemed a bit more refined.
Yes, super produced and all of that. But all that said, My Favorite Murder kicks all their asses on the charts.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, that
People
may be
want
where our
real life.
similarities end.
Yeah.
But it's still working. It's still working. And when we went to Kansas City, we not only saw Karen and Georgia live, and they're just as...
so magical.
I love them so much. The way Georgia points her toes when she
and
sits
the whole
down.
time that she's sitting, her toe is pointed perfectly. She's got the perfect arch to her foot. It drives me crazy.
She's the most darling human, besides Melody, that I've ever seen. And then Karen is just so... It's funny because she sounds so intimidating when she's recording, but in person she seems like such a sweet, comforting presence.
I know.
I wanted to hug her.
See, I always felt like, and I think I'm wearing the I'm a Karen shirt.
You are.
But I find her so relatable. I don't know.
Like she will tell you the absolute truth, but because she is so genuinely not an asshole, you'll never be hurt by it.
No, she's such a good storyteller too.
Yes.
To watch her tell her story, and oh my God, she's so funny. Like she's so ridiculously funny.
I know,
and it just comes right out of her. Like
I know how. Like I was watching it, I was like, how are they doing this?
I know.
Well, we do the same thing.
Yeah,
right now we're
funny?
Doing it. See, funny.
I don't know. Funny.
Are you being funny?
I was. Were you?
I look at my face.
Yeah.
How is that not funny?
That is funny.
And like the big, huge, nerdy fangirls that we are, we did buy merch.
Yes, we did.
Exclusive merch. Like Mel said, she's got an I'm a Karen shirt, and I've got I'm a Georgia.
Yep.
Because I am sort of an overgrown woman child, but I do well for myself.
Yeah. See, and the thing is, we kind of like, it was a bit of a back and forth because personality-wise, I feel like, and brain-wise, am a lot of a Georgia. You're very... I am not at all saying that Georgia is not smart.
No,
because
she's not. She's super smart. She's just... she's a...
Yes.
She's a... What's the word
just
I'm
kind
looking
of scattered.
for? Scattered. She's like a little butterfly who can't decide which idea she wants to land on.
And that definitely...
They're all so great.
It speaks to my personality very much. So, but I also...
Well, she's also obsessed with her cats.
Yes.
And she has anxiety.
Yes.
And short hair.
Yes.
I mean, it could have gone either way.
I think it could have.
I love my shirt.
Me too.
I still, for
we
whatever.
We both got smalls. We can switch it back and forth depending on what day we're feeling like.
Some days you're a Karen, some days you're Georgia. It's like the whole
Sometimes,
Mounds thing and Almond Joy.
She's just going to make up a song to it.
Some days you feel like a Karen. Some days a Georgia.
A Georgia?
No. Georgia is a nut. Karen's not because sometimes you feel like a Karen. Sometimes Georgia.
Bye.
Yay!
Improv,
funny. You know what else happened when we were in Kansas City? Do they? I cannot smell them from here. It's the gift of allergies, partly. We went to a place that I thought only existed in my dreams.
Oh, I know.
I don't remember the name of it, but it was an antique shop with 4 levels.
4 stories of pure heaven. We met my old roommate, Erin, whom I have not seen in forever, and his beautiful wife, Amanda.
I loved them both.
They're two of my favorite people. I love them. Mm-hmm. And they got to meet us there for, what, a couple hours?
Yeah, we wandered around for a long time in there.
And then until the last minute. We stayed till the last minute because the last floor that we found was the clothing.
It was the jackpot that we didn't even know existed.
If anybody would have mentioned once, clothing is downstairs, we would have seen none of the rest of that building, I'm sure. We could have stayed down there for hours.
I almost genuinely just vomited.
Me too.
When I saw all those clothes.
Wanted to throw all of the
I wanted to go
everything
into a rage.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
And just tear up everything I saw.
Me too. And punch people in their faces.
I really wanted to punch everyone around me. Ugh. Even myself.
Me too. I wanted to hit myself in the head with the coffee mug that I was holding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then just like bang it against the wall. Just take a mannequin arm. Even,
I wanted to take like a purse, a boot, a belt, a shoe, anything, and throw it at the light fixtures. Mm-hmm. I needed to destroy everything.
I wanted the spaghetti straps on those like 1950s style things.
Oh my God.
I wanted to floss with those.
Oh my God. No, I know. Floss your teeth in your bunghole.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I know.
Yeah, my teeth too. I didn't even think of that. I did end up buying a cardigan and a dress, which I need to post on our Instagram because it fits me like a glove that maybe I shouldn't breathe in.
Yeah. I tried on, speaking of that, remember the skirt that you guys had to come in and pull off of me?
Yeah, that was an operation, but we got, I think 3 of us managed it.
It fit until it didn't, and then it really didn't. I tried on another dress that actually fit beautifully, but I'm a cheap bastard, and I felt bad about it. I loved
her in that dress.
It was so cute. I want to go back and get it.
We're going back.
I didn't get it because it was like $34 or something like that, which isn't terrible for the
compared to
style that it was and for how well it was kept, but it's Christmas time and I couldn't buy for myself, so I didn't. And then the dress that I was actually wearing, the skirt I was wearing, busted the zipper, and luckily Amanda is an amazing seamstress and she came in and was able to fix it.
That's amazing.
What else did we do?
Oh my gosh. So after we pulled ourselves away from the heaven of that thrift store, by the way, I also bought an ocean painting. It was like not exactly a painting. It's like a print stuck to a piece of wood. I'm sure there's a name for it.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
But it has so much significance for me. I hung it above my bed because of the reoccurring dream that I have. Yes. I think I've talked about it on the podcast, where I cannot get down to the shore. I'm in my favorite place, but I can't reach the ocean. The first night I came home and hung that above my bed, I had a dream that I almost made it. I could feel the spray on my face.
I just love it.
It was so beautiful.
You could feel the spray on your face, huh?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't have a problem with that.
And while you were in that vintage shop, did you get a beautiful pearl necklace?
I did. Made me feel all warm and fancy. Okay.
That was just me swallowing.
Swedish food. Speaking of swallowing, after that, we went to the most amazing, fancy-ass Swedish restaurant.
Yes.
And I don't even know exactly what I ate and drank, but I know I loved all of it.
I felt really bad because I felt like we were going there because of my want and desire to, but you reassured me that was what you wanted for your birthday. We gave you any option, wherever you want to go. Our beautiful Jess friend, our trip, she paid for us to go have a beautiful dinner. She Venmoed me money.
Can you believe that our trip did this? And we're still trying to get her birthday box together.
Yes, we are.
We are the worst humans.
We're the worst. But we love you, Jess. And there's not a day that we don't think about how awful we are.
We do. We are going
how great you
thoroughly chastise ourselves continually.
But we had the most amazing, we had a smörgåsbord.
Yes, we did. Smörgåsbord.
Of just everything.
Yeah.
Like there was
We had glögg. Everything was pickled.
Everything was pickled.
There wasn't meat on the smorgasbord.
Yeah, smorgasbord.
Board. Why? Ooh, and I had beef stroganoff. I'm drooling right now.
I know.
I have to swallow. With homemade noodles. They were really actually quite hideous, but they tasted so good.
My mouth is watering thinking about it. Josh had mead. He had a flight of mead and 3 different kinds. One of them was Viking's blood, and I don't even remember any of the others because Viking's blood is just funny.
They all tasted almost exactly the same.
They really did. Yeah. There was an apple one, and they all just tasted like super sweet shit. I'm not a fan of mead. I
kind of liked it, but in very small doses.
Yeah.
So, okay, so then we went to the show, of course. It was more than I even hoped. It was the theater was so gaudy.
Oh my gosh.
But in the most fun, exquisite, just
over
fantastical
the top
way.
Yes, exactly.
They were the creepiest ass gold cherubs. Were they gold? I don't know. They were creepy cherubs all over the place. Yes. Anywhere you looked, if you just took a moment and focused your eyes, you'd be stared down by these evil little babies.
Weeping angels.
Yeah, on the walls. It was great.
Don't blink.
So much furniture that I wanted to steal or just roll around on at least.
Huge mirrors that we looked at ourselves in and how cute we dressed.
Oh, yeah. Oh, people told us we were cute because murderinos,
they're so nice.
They're so nice. We seriously, you walk through the lobby and you hear, I love your hair. I love your glasses. Someone said we were the cutest humans.
They did?
Yeah.
I didn't hear
that. We were taking a picture. Oh. I know.
Oh my God. Thank you. And then what is so crazy is that, so there's a murderino friend that we found out was going to be there that we had not met in real life. So my mom used to work with her, and we find out that we have this common interest, which is my favorite murder. We had talked about possibly getting together for a drink before or after, and it didn't pan out. But we sit down in our spot, and I hear, Melody? She's literally in the seat next to us.
Next to us.
Right next to us.
There's no separation at all. Literally
None.
Right next. What are the chances?
What?
There were so many people there.
Yes, it was a completely full venue, and we were sat right beside each other.
It was insane. It was just the whole weekend. It was just like that.
Yeah.
It was serendipity upon serendipity.
Exactly. We went to IKEA the next day. You had your first experience there.
You popped my IKEA chair.
And I'm glad I was able to do it.
I wouldn't want anyone else to. And you guys, you can get a $2 breakfast there.
A delicious $2 breakfast.
With eggs and sausage.
And everything.
Oh, now I'm drooling again.
I know.
We wandered all over the place. I bought... I'm sorry, my foot almost cramped.
Oh.
I don't know why I always cramp up when I'm in here. I think I get all twitchy or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I bought so much stuff for the kids.
Yes.
And then we bought all these fancy Swedish cookies and stuff, and it was just, I know, guys.
So
maybe
good.
You're done hearing about it, but it was so good.
It was so good.
So that was that. That was one of my favorite birthdays ever.
Yeah, and I was a little nervous to drive, as I usually am, to drive that far away, but we survived.
Yes, and I can't believe I forgot this. Melody and Josh are the most entertaining travel companions. I can't tell you how many times I wish that I had been filming, or a couple times when I actually managed to. That things that go on between them. My favorite is how she yells at him to be so careful when he's driving. And then 2 seconds later, she is interpretive dancing and singing in his face while he's like on the busy highway. She can't help herself.
I can't. I have fully aware how neurotic I am. I am terrified of life, and I love it all the same. I need to sing and dance about it, but I also need to scream for it to be safe. So
yeah,
I don't know.
It was great. It was so great, and just the way Josh handled all of it.
It is. Look, it was no different than every day to you. Like you,
oh yeah,
it was not a just like a treat for you. That's kind of, it's just real. It's just how it is.
I just remember too. This was a big deal,
What?
Really big deal. So Melody yelled at me for real for the first time. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
So fun.
So fun. I was feeling like major sass.
Oh,
that evening.
she got riled. I mean, it was like a little kid who had just had too much in one day.
It really was. In the hotel.
Yes.
We're talking about in the hotel because I can't think. I think that's it. Yes. Yeah. So I'm tucked into bed, and I was like, our hotel was shite. I'm just going to say it. Yeah. Like, I am very appreciative for Vu got us the hotel. Yes. I'm very thankful.
And he said that he tried, that was like, I think the Murderinos just booked them all up.
And I guarantee that's, definitely.
But it was a little murdery.
It was a definite murder hotel. No doubt about it. Everything about it was. It was secluded in the middle of nowhere by train tracks.
Yes, and we heard them all night, too.
Yes, we did. Our door, the lock, like the extra lock, had been busted off of it. Like visibly door kicked in, busted off at some point. There was and
not fixed.
And never fixed, no. There was a tipped over barbecue grill right outside our door.
Our glass door.
And it had the whole hotel, let's say motel, just reeked. It smelled so bad. So I was like, I'm a little bit hungry. I saw popcorn in the vending machine. Josh, will you go get me some popcorn? Because I knew that smell would be heavenly and the taste would just be a bonus.
Yeah.
Well, he burnt the popcorn, the first bag. So he goes out and gets another one. You're in the shower this whole time. And then he continues to eat the burnt popcorn, which was crazy. I kept saying, you said it was burnt. Why are you eating it?
Because it's there.
Because it was there. Yeah. Well, Amy comes out. She gets cuddled into bed. and
I had popcorn on my mind already.
She had already been wanting popcorn. So she sees it and she starts digging in. I look at Josh. He's crazy. I look at Amy. She's crazy.
I didn't realize I was doing it.
And I told you, what did I say? I think I said, don't be a Josh. Or
you said,
like
you're
that.
Doing it. You're doing it too.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh.
You're like, doing what?
Oh, my God.
And I was like, yes,
I am doing it. And I tried to stop.
Yes, you did.
I will always try not to just decimate the popcorn in front of you.
Thank you.
When I'm alone.
Go to town.
In my lemon yellow bathtub with my twisty straw and my box wine.
Falling through
on someone else's dining table. Yep. I'll still be munching that stuff.
You should be.
Why can't we say munch anymore?
Munchin'. Why can't we say munch?
I like...
What?
I just make you think
of what? Munch?
Crunch and munch.
Crunch and munch.
Yeah,
like the popcorn.
What
is it reminding you of?
It just reminds me of munching a rug.
Oh, God.
Maybe it's just me, apparently.
You know my brain doesn't always automatically go.
Thank you for making me say
sorry.
it.
Yeah. Well, thank you for saying it, because I would have just been...
In that case, you're hoping there's no crunch, too. What?
But yes. Oh, God.
This is always going to a fun place.
Yeah, it always does. Yeah. We always do. So do you think that we just told our weekend survival story.
Yes.
Do you think that we should talk about some other survival stories?
Speaking of survival stories, or in some cases, stories about people who didn't survive.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I would, if I could only hear one right now, I feel like it would it would be the thing I need right now.
Okay, so should we start with you or with me?
I will say mine is probably going to be, as they say on My Favorite Murder, a bit of a bummer.
Mine is not, it is a real bummer what happened, but it ends well.
Okay.
So should we end with a bummer or not so bummer?
Let's end with a not bummer.
Okay.
Let's slap that bummer right in here.
I'll slap your bummer.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Will you do it hard?
Oh. baby.
Okay, because I'm just saying, I will warn you that I could break your hand.
Well.
With my bummer.
I will just bum my bummer into your bummer, and it'll be like diamonds bummering each other, and then they'll explode because the only thing that can break a diamond is a diamond.
Oh, this all made so much sense. I've never heard you speak with such clarity about anything.
Thank you. I really took a beat to think that through.
Yeah, you
as
did.
I was saying.
I saw it in your eyes.
The wheels were spinning.
So today we're going to talk about the bodies on Mount Everest.
Oh.
Have you heard of this?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, everybody knows Mount. What?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Ooh.
But, ooh.
This is what I do. That's why the owl is curious sound.
Don't let me forget, after you're done with the story, to say something about Mount Everest.
Ooh,
that freaks
Everest.
Me out.
Okay, I've got to hear.
Okay, it is, go.
So in 1953 was the first time that somebody scaled the summit of Everest for the first time.
Really?
Yeah, their names were Edmund Hillary and... Why does this person have the most ridiculous name? I'm sorry. Tenzing is the first name. The last name is Norgay.
Where are they from?
Tenzing Norgay.
Huh.
I don't know. And I could be saying it completely wrong, but I think I hit Edmund Hillary on the head.
Yeah.
So they did it for the first time in 1953. But since then, over 4,000 people have done it, which is... If you think about it in the grand scheme of things, not that many, but still kind of a lot.
I mean, for what it is.
Yeah.
Yes, a lot.
But guess what else has happened a lot? A lot of people have died trying.
Oh, no. Hey, speak into it this way.
Sorry, I'm getting all tilty.
You're good.
Okay. We'll see how the sound is.
It's fine.
So here's the thing that happens when somebody dies climbing Mount Everest. They have a standard protocol, and that is to just leave the dead where they die. And so these corpses remain to spend basically an eternity on the mountaintop. They do this for a few reasons. They serve as a warning to climbers because they're perfectly preserved. They're just lying there in their gear. People just climb past them. Also, they've been known to be used as mile markers because some of the dead are so famous now. We'll get more into that.
Whatever happened to ye old ye old
She's getting riled again.
ye old sign.
I know.
Just a post
yeah.
of mile marker 200.
At least spray paint a number on there.
It wouldn't be 200 miles. That would be so crazy.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
It's not.
Anything with numbers. It could be anything. I don't like numbers. So, although most people know it is now,
could be. I'm sorry.
It could be 400. It could be 4,000. Okay?
Miles up Mount Everest.
Yes.
It's famously not.
They don't call it Mount, not 4,000 miles up.
That you are so true.
But they do call it.
Proceed.
They also call it the world's largest open-air graveyard.
Oh,
a lot of people don't know this. Well, we'll talk about some of them. I would say many, dozens, maybe more. So the top portion of the mountain, or roughly everything above 26,000 feet, has a fun name. It's called the death zone.
Oh.
In the death zone, oxygen levels are only at a third of what they are at sea level, and the barometric pressure causes weight to feel 10 times heavier.
Oh.
So this is what you're dealing with once you make it up to the death zone. The combination of these two things makes climbers feel sluggish, disoriented, and fatigued, and may cause extreme distress on their organs. This sounds like a regular afternoon for me. I would not make it.
No.
For this reason, climbers don't usually last for more than 48 hours in this area. Those who actually survive the death zone are still left with lingering effects, and the less fortunate are left where they fall.
How do they make it how do they make it past it?
They just go on past. And the reason that these climbers' recovery, they can't recover the dead is because of the situation in the death zone. If you try, you're going to be screwed. They weigh 10 times more. You're already fatigued. You can barely breathe.
Yep.
So, and as awful and callous as it sounds, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So if somebody dies, especially in the death zone, you really can't retrieve the body. The weather conditions, the terrain, the lack of oxygen, it just makes it pretty much impossible. Plus, they're usually stuck to the ground because they're frozen. In place. Oh. So there are some famous corpses what a distinction, on Mount Everest, and one of the most famous is known as Green Boots. Now, he was passed by almost every climber to reach the death zone, so everybody knew Green Boots. Although his identity is kind of contested, it's widely believed that he is, Meep! I can't say this name. Teswang Payor. He's an Indian climber who died in 1996. I am sorry, no disrespect to his memory. But before...
to his name.
Silly name.
Meep.
Meep. So people started using Green Boots' body as a landmark to gauge how close they were to the summit because it rested near a cave where all climbers had to pass to reach the peak. And about 80% of people also take a rest at the shelter where Green Boots is, so it's hard to miss the person lying there. So imagine you're about to reach the summit. You have to take a rest in this cave, and you have to do it next to this famous corpse wearing the bright green boots. There are pictures, but I decided not to bring them because I could barely look at them. But here's the thing about Green Boots. He got a friend in 2006.
No.
So another climber joined Green Boots in the cave, sitting arms around his knees in a corner forever. David Sharp was attempting to summit Everest on his own, which you shouldn't do.
Why would you do that?
Even the most advanced climbers wouldn't do that. He stopped to rest in Green Boots' cave, which means he made it quite a ways. And as many had, rested there before him. But over the course of several hours, he froze to death, his body stuck in a huddled position, just feet from his famous companion. Here's the thing with this guy, though. Unlike Green Boots, who had likely gone unnoticed during his death, due to the fact that a small amount of people were hiking at that time, at least 40 people passed this guy that day, and not one of them stopped.
You're kidding.
So Sharp's death sparked debate about the culture of Everest climbers. Even though those 40 people had passed Sharp as he lay dying, and their eyewitness accounts claim he was visibly alive and in distress, no one offered help. You remember Sir Edmund Hillary, one of the first two who climbed? He was disgusted with this when he heard about it. He criticized the climbers who passed Sharp and attributed it to the mind-numbing desire to reach the top. Think about that. This guy said, yeah, I reached the top, but I would not have done it. I would have stopped, and I would have helped this guy. So,
wouldn't you? I mean,
yes.
Wouldn't you? I mean,
it's just crazy that people get so single-minded, and they're just
I'll let this human
die because I want to say I climbed Everest.
Exactly. It makes me wonder, what type of mindset a lot of these people have.
And they're not getting a lot of oxygen to their brain at that point.
That's true. And they probably realize that there's not a lot that they could do, but could they have gotten help somehow?
Yeah, at least I don't know what they could have done, but you have a morable blobble. So Hillary said, if someone is in great need and you are still strong and energetic, then you have a duty, really, to give all you can to get the man down, and getting to the summit becomes very secondary.
Yes.
Yeah. So this Hillary guy, he's on my good list. I like the guy.
Me too.
Yeah. I wonder how old he is now. I wonder if he's still alive.
Well, if he did it in the 50s.
Yeah.
And he was probably good age.
He's probably not a baby.
20s, 30s.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'll look him up. But he said that he thinks the attitude of the Everest climbers has become rather horrifying, is how he put it.
I bet they enjoy going to see the corpses, too.
They probably do.
I mean...
He just says that. He says people, they just want to get to the top. And yeah, the corpses, I'm sure they have a strange fascination. They call it summit fever. These people that, like, that's all they can think about. Which I think has strong philosophical implications, don't you?
Yeah.
We all can get summit fever. Yep. Forget the people in visible distress along the way. So, in 1999, the oldest known body was found on Everest. His name was George Mallory, and he was found 75 years after his death in 1924, after an unusually warm spring. He'd attempted to be the first person to climb Everest, though he had disappeared before anyone found out if he had achieved his goal. His body was found in 1999. His upper torso, half his legs, and his left arm were almost perfectly preserved after 75 years. Get this. He was dressed in a tweed suit.
What?
I know. And surrounded by primitive climbing equipment and heavy oxygen bottles. So he just thought, I'm going to put on my warmest tweed suit and jolly well go up the mountain.
Well, I mean, tweed is a pretty
I really
heavy.
Like tweed. I like a man in tweed.
I do too.
Oh, man.
There's nothing like it.
Tweed and the smell of old books and maybe a cigar. I don't know.
It also makes me sad that this is proving that our bodies can't be frozen and brought back to life.
No, because apparently his torso, that half leg, that arm, they were done for at that point. I know. So we're going to talk just a tiny bit about the frozen woman before I close. Her name, these names.
Mm-hmm. Just do your best.
One of the most horrifying sights on Everest is the body of Hannelore Schmatz. Your face. In 1979, Schmatz had become not only the first German citizen to perish on the mountain, but also the first woman. Here's the sad thing, she had actually reached her goal of summiting the mountain, but on the way back down, she succumbed to exhaustion.
No.
Because despite the Sherpa's warning, she had set up camp within the death zone. She managed to survive a snowstorm hitting overnight and made it almost the rest of the way down to camp before a lack of oxygen and frostbite resulted in her giving into exhaustion.
No.
She was only 330 feet from base camp
when
she died.
Gosh.
So it says that her body remains on the mountain extremely well preserved due to consistently below zero temperatures. She remained in plain view of the mountain's southern route, leaning against a long deteriorated backpack with her eyes open and her hair blowing in the wind.
I'm sorry, but I think somebody could get her.
Well, somebody tried. So she got blown over, eventually the body did, by like 70 to 80 mile per hour wind, and they don't know where she is. But 2 rescuers actually tried to recover her body, and guess what? They died.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, they died trying to recover her body.
You're kidding.
And many other rescuers have died for the same reason. So, I want to end with the saddest thing ever.
Good. I can't wait.
So, a health hazard that you may not think about when you're climbing Everest is something called retinal hemorrhages. Which it's not hemorrhages. I know the word hemorrhages. This is spelled all wonky town. They can damage eyesight and cause blindness. Up to a quarter of Everest climbers can experience these things, but they usually heal within a few weeks. Well, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, the British climber... Oh, sorry. I just saw a note on my paper. The British climber Peter Kinloch was on the roof of the world in bright sunlight, taking photographs of the Himalayas below, elated, cheery, and bubbly. But Mount Everest is now his grave, because only minutes later, he suddenly went blind and had to be abandoned to die in the cold.
So his buddies were like...
They're like, oh, dude.
Sorry.
Oh, that sucks, man.
So he had to be abandoned because of the retinal hemorrhaging?
Yeah, maybe they were like, well, we can't get you down the mountain if you can't see where you're going.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah. So what I say is don't be a meeping fool. There's no reason to climb Everest.
There really just isn't.
And I didn't even cover the poop problem. I didn't have time. People are just crapping their brains out all over the place. And it's
I was going to ask something at the very beginning. I thought I'd always heard that there was just feces all over.
It's a huge problem. Yeah.
There's nothing that can be done about it.
Yeah, let's not idealize things.
No.
Like Everest, like anything. Let's live our life doing everything we can to just not climb mountains that you don't need to climb.
There's no reason for it.
No, don't follow your dreams if they're stupid.
If they're dumb and most people die doing it, don't do it.
Chances are your dreams are dumb and you're going to die. Even if you get it, you'll die on the way down or you'll go blind.
Yes.
Stay in your house, in your lemon-colored bathtub, alone and sad. It's the only place you'll be safe.
Eating some banana taffy.
And call it Tafty.
Yes.
Because
Tafty.
Call it Tafty in your dating profile.
Oh, yes.
And a selfie should be taken with said Tafty.
Yes. Tafty.
So that's the bodies on Everest.
Golly.
I know.
I think it's crazy. I mean, people do it for morbid and crazy reasons. That's all I have. I want to talk to somebody who has climbed it, and I want to get into their mindset.
Me too. Yeah, let's do that. The listeners who have climbed Everest,
hit us up.
Folie.
I mean, duo at gmail.com. I don't know.
Your face was the best part of that.
Oh.
So let's cheer right on up.
Let's get cheerful. Downright cheerful.
Hey, Melody.
Mm-hmm.
You know what the only thing worse than having your tummy start to rumble when you're only 4.5 hours into a bath is?
Mm-hmm. I do. Dealing with the same sticky, disintegrating bar of soap, bath after bath.
Well, luckily, Melody, bath taffy tastes as good as it smells.
And the only thing it leaves behind is squeaky clean crevices and a satiated feeling of efficiency.
Comes only in banana flavor.
So my story this week, we had discussed it last week, 2 weeks ago, and I got overly excited about it.
She really did.
This story, this girl, this lady, this woman, she is my hero.
She's incredible.
She's incredible. She's a survivor. And I've really tormented myself with this one because it's just like MK Ultra and many other things that I have yet to discuss because I know that I won't do it justice because I am me. And sometimes justice can't be done.
No, it can't. And I am also me, which is why I haven't covered a bunch of crap either.
We just have
hard.
to. It's hard.
We have to just do it half-assedly.
And that's right, because that's just who we are.
Yeah. People, they would rather have half our asses than
no ass
cheek.
at all. Exactly. And two asses make one ass. No,
that's true. Two cheeks make one ass.
And we are one ass.
High five if we could reach each other.
Woo! Okay, so I'm going to tell this story as if I'm just sitting in front of you in my room telling you this story.
And all of that would appear to be accurate.
Exactly. So I'm hoping that I do it well since the scene is set.
The scene is set.
Yes.
Everyone, she's sitting in front of me telling a story. I don't need to give you any more details, and I'm going to stop talking.
No. Okay. So my story is about dearly beloved. No. It's about...
Are you performing a wedding ceremony?
I just want to do her justice.
I'm going to stop.
No, don't. This is about Mary Vincent. She is the biggest badass that ever drew a breath. And she luckily is still drawing breaths. So rest easy knowing that this story is horrific, but she is alive.
It's like what I have to tell my kids when we watch scary movies. I'll be like, it's okay, she's fine in the end.
Yeah, it's going to be all right.
You guys remember that.
Unless she's not. But in this case, she is.
In this case.
So Mary Vincent was 15 years old in 1978. She was in Modesto, California. It was September 29th. The sweetheart had left her home. She didn't have the best of family life, but she left. She was hitchhiking, as was, very common in the 70s. Think it was that weird. It wasn't that big a deal. She was trying to get home, just desperately wanted to get back home, and was alongside the highway with two other hitchhikers, two guys, and a white van pulled up. Red flag right there. I don't know if they knew it then, but we know now.
We know all white vans are murder vans.
Murder vans. Just so you know.
If you own one, you should know that it's a murder van. And
and people are definitely looking at you.
I mean, that doesn't mean that we don't want to be your friend.
No, we definitely probably still do.
Yeah, probably want to make out with you.
No. Hey, me.
Meep.
How are you going to meep that out? So she's hitchhiking her way home. She's got these two guys by her side. White van pulls up. He's like, "Where are you headed?" And she tells him, and he says, "Well, I'm not necessarily going that way, but I'll go. I'll do it. I'll do it for you. But I only have room for you, for the girl." And the guys are like, no, second red flag.
Yeah.
If he doesn't have room in his big white van for two other people, then you probably shouldn't go with him.
What kind of a brazen dickhead even tries to say that? I mean,
right?
Obviously a sociopath.
Right, a murderer.
Yeah.
So...
Spoiler.
She is just so exhausted. She's so ready to get home. She's 15, and she is just like, you know what? I don't care. I just want to get home. He was an older guy. He looked like, in her words, he was a little heavier set. He looked like he was her grandpa's age. He did not look like he was going to be able to hurt her. Mm-hmm. And so she trusted that he wouldn't, and she got in the van. I'm going to not even... Part of me is like, I have notes here. Mm-hmm. And part of me is like, I should read these so that I get it all right. Mm-hmm. But I'm not going to. I'm just going to say it. And if I get lost or if I skip anything, I'm really sorry. I can go back. Yeah. So Mary is in the van, and she's getting tired. And she decides to take a little bit of a nap. So she falls asleep. She wakes up. And when she wakes up, she realizes that they're heading in the wrong direction. And she mentions it. And he says, "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm tired, and I'm not going to hurt you or anything like that. It was an honest mistake."
Lies and lies and lies.
Yeah. "I'm so sorry. Let me pull over. There are no rest stops, right now. Let me pull over so that I can relieve myself, and then we'll head back the other way." So he pulls over, and Mary's, already feeling a little bit on edge because she realizes that he was purposely taking her out of the right direction. So she says that you can watch her whole survival story on I Survived. It's amazing, and you'll have nonstop goosebumps. It's heart-wrenching to watch her tell the story, but luckily she's here to tell it. So she says that she looks down and she notices that her shoes are untied. And she thinks to herself, if I have to run, I'm going to need to tie my shoes.
Wow.
So she bends down, starts tying her shoes, and have I said his name yet?
I don't think you have.
I'm not even going to say his name because
he doesn't deserve it. He's just a piece of crap. You
can look it up if you're interested. He doesn't deserve it.
He's a worthless
He's
human.
The worst. Her attacker comes from behind and hits her over the head with a mallet.
Oh, God.
And, oh, God. So then he proceeds to force her to perform sexual things. stuff, acts, that's the word, sexual acts on him, and then he rapes her all through the night.
Oh my gosh.
He ties her into the back of the van. For hours. She says for hours and hours he raped her. Like from sun up to sundown, rapes her.
Insane.
Yeah. So she's begging and pleading with him to please set her free. And he stops and he says, "You want set free?
Oh God.
I'll set you free."
Oh God.
And he takes out a hatchet and he chops off her arm.
No.
And she says that she can remember like falling back and not realizing, like wondering why, because she could feel herself still holding on to his arm.
Oh my God.
Trying to get away. And she's like, "Why am I falling?" And then realizes it's because her arm is attached to him.
That is insane.
And she is falling backwards. And he is visibly like flinging his arm, trying to get her arm off of him because it is still grasping so tight onto him.
That's insane. And how did he manage to cut it off so cleanly, like so fast?
I think he took things that I've read says that he, with 3 chops, he got the first one off, and then he cut
the first one.
The first one. He took a hatchet to both of her arms.
No.
So she has no arms below the elbow, both of them.
That is the sickest, most sadistic, horrible thing I've ever heard.
It's insane. So, and his thoughts obviously were that there would be no,
she'd bleed out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Not only does he do this, he chops off both of her arms with a hatchet, and then he threw her down a 30-foot cliff.
Oh my God.
30 feet. That's
way high.
For one, you're bleeding out.
Yeah. And
then you're thrown down, you're going to have broken bones. You're going to stay there. And he assumed, they're in the desert. She's going to bleed out, not going to be found.
And she's already been through the worst nightmare of being brutally attacked all night.
All night long. So as this takes place, she's thrown down, he leaves. She's down this 30-foot cliff, and it's the sun's coming up, and she decides she has to persevere. She has to get through this. So she takes what's left of her arms, the stumps, and rubs them into mud so that it stops her bleeding. She knows that somehow she has to stop her bleeding. So she has the presence of mind as a 15-year-old who has gone through all of this, who is obviously has to be in shock, but she packs her arms with mud and uses herself to pull herself up this cliff. It took all day. By the time she could hear, I think she ended up walking 3 miles.
Oh my gosh.
Trying to get up this 30-foot cliff, and was just following the moonlight and the sound of the highway, because it took her all day. It took her all day. It was nighttime by the time that she got up the cliff.
Okay, millennials, take note.
Yes. Yeah.
Of which I am one, and I couldn't even handle a hangnail when I was 15.
I know.
Who am I to talk? Go on.
So she gets up there and she's like, "I've reached the highway. Okay, I have a chance." The whole time she's saying, "Don't fall asleep. If you fall asleep, you're gone, and he is going to do this to somebody else. You have to make it." She's at this point lost 50% of her blood.
Oh, 50%?
50%.
How is she moving?
So she gets to the highway and she sees a convertible coming her way, and she is just like, thank God. Mm-hmm. She runs out, and the car starts to stop, slow down. There are 2 guys in it. Mm-hmm. They see her, and they freak out. And she even says herself, she understood why, because she was looked nude.
Yeah.
She had no arms.
Oh my God.
She was completely covered in blood and dirt. It was something out of a horror film.
Yeah. I wonder what they thought.
Something, what could you possibly think? they could have thought possibly it was a joke, like somebody playing
some kind
a
of
joke
bizarre
on them.
prank, or someone who wanted to attack them.
Exactly, like so many things. So she's just like, well, I'm gonna die out here. Like nobody is going to stop. They took off. They didn't stop. So luckily, a couple on their honeymoon had gotten lost, and they came upon her. They put her in the back of their truck. They get her to a payphone. They call, and then she was med flight, like helicopter flight, to the hospital.
I love them.
I know.
They didn't have summit syndrome. They weren't like, let's get back to our hotel room. They were like, no, we've got to help this poor wretch.
Exactly. So she is well enough at the hospital to give such a vivid description of her attacker that his neighbor, who had been lifelong friends with him, saw it on the television, the sketch that the sketch artist had done, and immediately was like, it's him.
Oh my gosh.
Turned him in.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Like to the T, she was able to give every description. And
this girl,
what is the dreadful part of this? Like she survived, yes, but she lived years with hopelessness. Like her innocence was taken from her. Her arms were taken from her. Her sense of any type of security was taken from her in an evening, in a night. And
the trauma upon trauma upon trauma, and the lasting effects, like physically and emotionally.
Yes. So she goes to the trial to convict him, right? This is horrible. So he gets sentenced to 14 years.
What?
Because it was attempted and it didn't he didn't kill her. What pisses me off with our legal system, I'm sorry for anybody who works in it, and I know that it has to be a hard job to figure this shit out, and there are so many circumstances that are different in each case, but this is bullshit. He was trying to kill her. He left her for dead.
Everything in his power, besides from the brutal rape and the maiming.
Yes.
Like, that alone, of course he should have gotten more.
He had to have thought that she was dead.
Yeah.
There's no way that he didn't think that he killed her.
He should have been publicly castrated. And then her family should have been allowed to kill him slowly.
Yeah, exactly.
Or maybe if she was up to it.
And at the end of the trial, he came up to her, looked her in the eyes, and said, if it's the last thing I do, I will find you and finish the job.
What?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So she lived her life in so much fear.
Oh my gosh.
And get this. Guess how many years of his sentence he served?
I don't even know. Oh, I'm not
It was
ready.
a 14-year sentence. He served 8 for good behavior.
Good behavior.
Yeah. He served 8. He got out. What was great is that no town wanted him. They were like, no,
good.
It's not happening. There were riots. They ended up, he ended up, where is it? He ended up having to live in a trailer on the grounds of San Quentin.
Wow.
Until his parole ended a year later.
No, I think that's awesome.
Yeah. A crowd of approximately 500 local protesters were up in arms and forced officers to move him under armed guard from a hotel room.
Yeah, they don't want him in their town.
No, nobody did. So, of course, what does he do? He's after his parole, he gets minor offenses, like 60-day sentence for stealing a $10 disposable camera in 1990. And then he got a 2-year sentence. 2 years. He got 2 years, which is
basically
it's 6 years
trying to murder somebody.
Less than
Yeah.
For stealing a $3 hat. For stealing a $3 hat.
Okay.
So then in the spring of 1997, a neighbor called the police to report him assaulting a woman in his home. When the police responded, they found the body of Roxanne Hayes. She had been stabbed multiple times in the upper body. And she was unfortunately a mother of 3. our lovely Miss Mary Vincent, traveled from California to Tampa to appear at his sentencing. During her testimony.
Wow, what a badass.
Yep. During her testimony, she described his attack and the toll and ordeal that had taken place. The judge sentenced him to death. He was on death row for years, not that many, for like 3 years, 4 years. And then he died of cancer, which, I mean, it's not enough.
So God was just like, you know what? I know you guys are trying to take care of this, but let me help a little.
Let me just take care of it.
Granted, mostly really good people die of cancer.
Yeah, that's true.
But if only we were only people like him.
Because he is cancer, and he should die like it.
A cancer upon humanity.
It's so insane. So he dies of cancer. Unfortunately, she struggled in her life for a lot of years. She did marry and had two children, two sons. She was scared for a long time that he was going to get out and find her.
Yeah, and then she'd be scared for her children.
Yep. I remember that something that I had read said that there was such relief after he died. Like, it didn't feel like it was like it wasn't what he deserved. Like, he did not get everything that he deserved, but there was relief. Like, she finally was relieved that
she didn't have to live without.
Yep.
Yeah.
So many cool things about her. So her prosthetic arms that she has are hooks. Like, this is the worst. She was granted, like, oh my God. She won $2.56 million in the civil judgment against him, and was unable to collect because he was unemployed, in poor health, and only had $200 in savings. So she got nothing. But the prosthetic arms that she has, they're supposed to be replaced every year, which is unable to happen because she didn't have the money. She can't work.
Be crazy expensive.
Yes. Although she is obviously a super hard worker. I mean, she's got some perseverance in her blood.
Yeah.
But she tinkered and would make her own prosthetic arms. Like, was able to make fingers that could move kind of like regular fingers. Yeah. So she's just a badass. And now she's an artist.
Wow.
She, a really good artist. She woke up one night and started drawing self-portrait and
with her
prosthetics. At the time, I believe it was the hooks, like just a hook.
Oh my gosh, this woman.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I just can't. I
know.
love her so much.
She's amazing. And I have tried to look up Mary Vincent 2017 or, anything in the last few years. There's really not a lot.
She may be a really private person.
And I don't blame her in the slightest bit for that. I did see that there was, I don't think I wrote it down, a new law had been established after this. It's called the Singleton Law, I think. That torture cases with torture get 25 years to life.
Well,
depending.
that's an improvement.
So that it is an improvement. It still doesn't seem like justice at all. But and somebody else ended up dying. Like, he killed another.
Yeah.
And oh my God, I just hate. He attacked sex workers.
Yeah.
So the lady that he ended up killing, which I can't believe that I refuse to believe that she was the only one.
No, I refuse to believe that too.
He called both her and Mary $10 whores, and that's what they deserved.
This guy. So you know what the story is? It's like the absolute worst of humanity, like subhuman evil.
Yep.
And then on the other side of the spectrum, like the most amazing things that we can be capable of.
Yeah. Yeah.
The resilience and the creativity and the beauty, like, it's just crazy.
Yes. It's like we had talked about on the last one with the guy in the tub boy.
Oh, yeah, Bathtub Boy.
Bathtub Boy.
A lot of bathtub themes.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. That you have to just get in that mindset of I just can't. Like the second that you decide I'm going to go ahead and go to sleep now or I'm going to give up, like then it's going to happen. But you can do so much. The human body is capable of so much
more than you think, that's one reason why I love running, actually, because I feel like that reminds you, because you're so uncomfortable when you run.
It's true.
And your mind is just wanting to tell you to stop.
Yeah.
But in reality, you can do so much more and go so much further and
faster
and
harder.
Than you think.
Yep, it's so true.
Yeah.
How cool would a Mary Vincent tattoo, just a reminder of like perseverance. Not so much, I mean, I don't even know what it would be, but something just like either. Because I hope that she knows how many of us like have think of her.
She's like a saint in my mind.
Me
now.
too.
Like I want like some kind of Mary Vincent rosary. I don't know. I'm not Catholic.
I know.
But like something when I need perseverance and things seem hopeless.
Yes, gives a whole new meaning to all those Hail Marys I used to have to say.
Exactly. I mean, the Virgin is the only one who could top her, I suppose.
Exactly. It's so crazy. I'm going to paint us some Mary Vincent art. I hope she's doing well. I hope that she is the happiest person, that she's living her best life, and that she is loving it with her children.
Yeah.
And that all is well and happy for her.
I hope so too.
She deserves that.
Some people suffer so much more than they deserve.
Yeah.
But then maybe life makes up for it in its crazy way.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think somebody should have been able to get her that 2.5.
Yes.
Like somehow.
Somebody should at least be buying her art for that much.
Yeah. There needs to be an ever-growing GoFundMe for situations. I used to work at Outback, and we had this fund that, you know, you could put part of your paycheck to, so that if something unfortunate happened to one of the employees, that money would go towards them.
Yeah.
And there was an unfortunate situation that did take place to one of my employees, and they were able to use that money to help with funeral costs and everything. And it's really an amazing thing. And a lot of workplaces have that.
Yeah.
There should be just like a national one that is always growing, so that when shit like this happens, that girl gets the money that money is not going to give her arms back. It's not going to give her anything at all, other than some financial security.
The barest minimum of what she deserves.
Exactly. Why don't we have something like that in place? Why doesn't, I mean, I'm sorry, but why doesn't the government, why do they not have something like this?
Government listeners.
Please. I'm maybe naive to even think that things like that could happen.
Maybe there are things, I mean, this happened in the 70s, right?
Yeah.
Maybe, me and my stupidly optimistic way, has anything changed?
I don't know, because there are some instances, in like the Innocence Project, trying to get wrongfully convicted people out of jail.
Yeah.
There are some states, I think, that give X amount of money to those people for however many years they served.
Okay.
But a lot of times those people don't get it, and I don't believe it's in every state. I don't feel like it should be a state thing. It should be a federal thing that they just...
Come on.
Like, it was a bunch of people's F up that got them there.
Yes.
And yeah, I guess, like, I don't know. We need to take care of our citizens.
Yeah, a lot of changes need to happen, and I think you and I should be at the forefront of the fight.
I would love to figure something out like that. I would love.
Maybe we need to figure out how to get some meeping sponsors and start donating to these things. When
I would love
we talk
to
about
be able to do that. I would give every damn dime.
Yeah,
to
because I would do this for free anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Me too. I have so much fun with it.
We do it for free. Except we pay a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I would. I would love to start something like that to just give, to people. I wish I could be a philanthropist.
I think you are, and you will continue.
At heart.
You'll philanth your heart out until it grows so big.
Such a weird word.
That it's squirting philanthropy all over.
Don't philanthropy on me.
Then you're going to have to take the mud and cover your gushing philanthropic heart.
Yes.
Because it's just too much.
And I will.
You will, I know.
Throw a little mud on it.
Climb that mountain.
Like
Mount Everest. Just the 30 feet that the monster threw you down.
Oh, the thing I wanted to talk about. I have something weird.
Yeah.
So this was brought to my attention by listener Simon. Hi, Simon.
I don't know why I giggle whenever I hear the name Simon. It's just such a cute name.
I do too, but for different reasons. Hi, Simon.
Hi.
So he was telling me, and I wish that he would tell me in his own words through our Folie, Deux, but he won't do it because he doesn't like his voice.
Simon, I've heard your voice.
It's so cute.
It's magical.
And he's Swedish, so he worries about. He says that he has to think for a long time, so he pauses a lot before he talks.
That makes it even better. True. It's so charming. Besides, I pause all the time.
That's what I told him. I was like, if you could hear the shit that I have to edit out of my own, like
when you try
the words are right here, right? That just happened. I have to do. He should really just do it anyway. Not to guilt you, Simon, but you have lots of weird stories that
actually,
you should call
Simon. I'm personally
gonna guilt.
Well, I'm just hurt.
Yeah, I know.
I am.
I know.
What he's fully capable. He's got a charming accent and even more charming delivery, and he just won't do it.
He must not love us.
He must like to see us suffer.
Yeah. Love you, Simon.
Love you, Simon. You're the king of everything good and nice. Hugs.
Okay, anyway. So so you know how I don't know how to start it. Okay. So we perceive distance differently when it's horizontal versus vertical. Okay. And you proved it when talking about Mount Everest.
Oh.
Because, think about this. So traveling from, imagine traveling from here, Bentonville, Arkansas, to Lake Atalanta. Okay. It's around how many miles would you say away?
From right here? Maybe 25?
You think it's that far? I'd say,
maybe 15?
Yeah. Let's say it's a good, because it would take about,
I thought it would take about 20 minutes.
So, yeah. But it's weird traffic. It's rural area. So I would say 15-ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Melody. Hey, Amy. This is future Melody. I looked it up. It's 5 miles. It's 5 miles, not 25, not 15 even. It's just a mere 5 miles away, you dipshits. Well, what would you say if I told you that from the tip of Mount Everest to the lowest place that we've ever been in the bottom of the ocean, as far as we've been down to the bottom of the ocean, to the tip of Mount Everest, is less than that.
What? That's so weird.
It gives me the river dance feels. The river dance feels.
So my 200 miles thing, saying that was believable was just...
No, it was not at all. It's approximately around 12 miles from the tip of Mount Everest to the lowest depths of the ocean that we know of.
Wow, that's bizarre.
Isn't that insane?
It makes me feel dizzy. It makes me feel like I'm on that zipper thing at the carnival, and like the carnies are obviously not taking care of the equipment.
Paying attention, and
you've heard these stories, but your friend pressured you to get on there anyways.
I feel like we're digging into something really deep here.
Give me some tea.
I think we're having a breakthrough. Is that not the most, like, when he told me, I don't think he realized like the amount of research I started doing. I started tippity-tapping on my computer, and I'm silent for a while, and he's like, maybe it's not as interesting as and I'm like, no, I can't stop, because I didn't believe it. I was like, no. Okay, X amount of feet is how many miles? Holy shit, it's only 12 feet.
That's insane.
It gave me all of those awful feels, which, by the way, I looked it up, and Tap Master, what was his name? I don't remember. The Riverdance guy. It's right there on the tip of my tongue. It's Michael Flatley. Ugh.
Did he climb Everest?
No, but he should.
He'd stay up there.
That was
really dark.
He had a world record of 28 taps per second, and then he beat his own record.
That doesn't make any sense.
No, I know. He beat his own record at doing I think it was 37 or something like that. Was the last. Per second? Per mother meeping second.
Amy? I can't even blink. And oh my gosh, she's biting a pillow.
I hate it. No, you can't do anything in the world that many times in 1 second. 1 second.
How did I not realize? Why did I laugh?
See how many you can count to in this. Okay, ready? I'm going to start now. You have to count, and I'm going to count 1 second. Okay.
Wait, no.
When I snap my finger, I want you to start counting as fast as you can. Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
You maybe got to 9.
Maybe.
I said 1 Mississippi. Okay, let's try it again. 1 Mississippi.
I cheated.
Even worse. You said you got to 8. These are worse.
This man
taps his feet like the devil. Like, he has sold his. If you're gonna sell your soul for something,
sold
why?
Both of his souls.
Why?
Of his feet.
Oh,
yeah, he did. And snap. And also, I think I would sooner believe in the flat Earth than this crazy shit.
Me too. Me too.
Fairies.
Me too.
And the Panty Dome. All of it.
Same. Because nobody can do that shit unless they straight up are of the devil.
Are you of the devil?
Can you tap your feet that fast?
If you do, I don't love you.
I don't like you.
I'm sorry. I don't even care about you.
I don't even want you to think about telling your friends that I like cotton candy.
No, and I'm not going to wave when you wave.
Nope, not goodbye.
Did we just do a reversey, or should we do it regular too?
No, we did a reversey, and I like it.
I like it too.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye.
I mean, not goodbye. Bad bye.
Stay in the bath. Don't climb mountains.
Mary Vincent, we love you.
You're the queen.